What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to another new comic book day top 10 list. Today I'm going to be ranking and reviewing all of my pickups for October 12th, 2022's new comic book day. In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing books that are from Marvel, Boom Studios, Image, and AWA Upshot. And as always, everyone, as I begin to talk about these books, just be aware there are definitely going to be spoilers. I get very excited talking about them, but I do put a spoiler tag down below in the corner to give you a heads up that a spoiler is about to happen. And now let's jump right into these books. And here we go, everyone. Kicking this top 10 list off first, we've got coming in at number 10. This is Image's brand new one. We've got Hack Slash Hot Shorts, issue number 1. This is cover A. Now, if you've been following me and my channel for a while now, you already know I am a big horror fan. If there's a new horror comic coming out, I'm going to be picking it up, and for the most part, I usually enjoy them. I thought this one was going to land a lot higher on my top 10 list. I honestly was really looking forward to it, but I really didn't like it at all. Now, I did like the artwork. I thought the artwork was really solid throughout all three of the short stories, but a little bit about me and my bias. I do not like short stories at all. I don't like that in a comic book form. Comics are already short enough, and now you're adding 3 short stories in it. I don't know. My thing with them is that they never get developed. It's just like they're happening and then they end, and for the most part, I usually want a lot more out of the story. I would like these to be contained in a single just horror anthology series, because all 3 of the stories were very good, but they just weren't developed at all, and then they just casually ended. So with that being said, that's exactly what this is. If you like horror, but short stories really aren't your thing, you're probably not going to like this one either. My opinion, the 3rd story was probably the best one. We got Vampirella, Purgatory was in it, a couple other characters too. Let me know what you thought about it down below, but for those reasons, we've got coming in at number 10 this week. This is Image's new one, Hack Slash Hot Shorts, issue number 1. Next up this week at number 9, we've got Marvel's Venom, issue number 11. This is cover A. I'll tell you what, everybody, I think this is going to be my last issue on this Venom series. At this point, 11 issues deep, I'm really not enjoying the story at all. On this series, we have Al Ewing and Ram V, and separately, they're fantastic writers, but together, you'd think they'd put together an incredible series. But in reality, we've got 2 different stories going on, and I don't really care about either of those plots. I know that's just my opinion, but they're not really doing a great job developing either of them, probably because it's 2 separate writers trying to combine a story together. One side of it, we've got Eddie Brock and everything going on with him, and now in this issue in particular, we've got his son Dylan Brock and his whole side of the story. I do like how it is slowly coming together, but at the same time, I don't particularly care about what happens to either of them at this point. In this one, it picks up right where the last one left off. We've got Dylan Brock, he's in trouble, and Bedlam is on top of him, and they don't really follow that up at all. It just flashes us forward a little bit, and everyone is trying to save Dylan's life. I don't want to spoil too much stuff that happens in this issue. A lot of stuff honestly does happen, and we get left on a cool cliffhanger as well, which is like, all right, I'm kind of over the series. I'm not really enjoying it all that much, but now Dylan is in some actual trouble, and I want to see how he gets himself out of it. And plus, we're going to be getting some sweet background stories and origins as well. So I don't know. While I want to drop it, at the same time, I still am slightly intrigued about some of this side story that they're coming up with. Let me know if you think I should be continuing on with this one, but for those reasons, we've got Venom, issue number 11, coming in at number 9. Next up this week, we've got coming in at number 8. This is Marvel's new series. We've got Namor the Submariner, issue number 1. This is cover A for it. This was a very last second pickup, and honestly, the only reason I grabbed it was so I could fill out a top 10 list, but I am glad I grabbed it. I thought for a first issue it was pretty solid. I really enjoyed the artwork as well. It's kind of a mystery as far as the first issue goes, and before I get into that, if you are interested in this series, it's not going to be a new Submariner ongoing series, but it is going to be just a contained mini-series. So with this first issue, everything is set in the future. Pretty much everything is destroyed. We don't really know exactly what happened. There was some sort of war, the entire planet got poisoned, and all the superheroes just kind of left. All the ones that could fly, and they have those type of abilities to leave the planet, but we don't know what happened to them either. So now we've got Namor the Submariner, he's underwater, and we do have some heroes that are still on planet Earth trying to save everybody else. It's just this massive desolate wasteland. It kind of reminded me of Fallout if you've ever played that game. Give it a try. Not a bad first issue, kind of left me wanting more, and for those reasons, we've got coming in at number 8 this week, this is Marvel's Namor the Submariner, issue number 1. Next up, folks, at number 7, we've got Marvel's Daredevil, issue number 4. This is cover A. I'll tell you what, everyone. Between Chip Zdarsky's last Daredevil volume and now the start to this one, this has potential to be one of Marvel's best ongoing series in a very long time. I love the artwork. I love the storytelling. Each one of these issues feels very meaningful. We get a lot of plot on top of a ton of action. And by the time we're done with it, it really progresses the story as well. In this one, picks up where the last one left off. We've got Daredevil. He finally meets up with Stick and Elektra, and Everything that's about to happen all gets laid out in this issue. I do not want to spoil it all for you, but we get a ton of action as well, a lot of character and plot developments. Such a good read on top of a very good series so far. I want to hear your opinions on this one down below, and for those reasons, we've got coming in at number 7 this week. This is Marvel's Daredevil issue number 4. Next up this week at number 6, we've got Image's new one, Hitomi, issue number 1. This is cover A. Now, I was really looking forward to this issue, and it did not let me down at all. I really enjoyed the artwork. The artwork was pretty much on par with what this front cover looks like, but as far as the first issue goes, it really left me wanting more. I really enjoyed this first issue. Now, there are going to be spoilers when I review this one, but a little bit of backstory on what happens is our main character, Hitomi, she's right there on the front cover. We learn about her past. We learn that her entire family got slaughtered by a samurai, and then we get shot into the present time. She's a little bit older, but her entire mission is to find this samurai and get revenge for her family. I love it. I can't wait to see where they go with it. There's a lot of other stuff that happens. She gets into a lot of trouble. She's obviously a troubled kid, but it's a very good first issue. And for those reasons, we've got coming in at number 6 this week. This is Image's new one, Hitomi, issue number 1. Next up this week at number 5, we've got AWA's brand new volume to Year Zero, Volume 0, issue number 1. This is cover A. You guys know I'm a big AWA fan, but I'd say Year Zero is probably my favorite series from AWA Upshot. I absolutely love zombie stuff, but as far as just zombie comic books go, these were incredibly well developed. Both Volume 1 and Volume 2 kind of follow the same just format. We get introduced to multiple different characters, but then it's just we see them just trying to survive a zombie apocalypse. So incredibly well done, but now we've got Year Zero, Volume 0. This is the prelude to both of them, and in this one, it's the same format. We get introduced to multiple different characters. We get some background story on them, but this is how the zombie apocalypse happens, the big outbreak. I'm so excited. I love this series. Definitely check it out. Try and find the trade paperbacks if you can. If you did pick this one up and you're a Year Zero fan, let's talk about it down below. And for those reasons, we've got coming in at number 5 this week, we've got AWA's Year Zero, Volume 0, issue number 1. Next up this week at number 4, we've got AWA's Erratic Recharged, issue number 2. This is cover A. This is a fantastic follow-up volume to the first volume of Erratic. That one was so good, and I was so happy to see it. They expanded it into a second volume, and I mean, we're 2 issues deep, and I don't understand how they're jam-packing so much info into these little books. We've got character, plot development, new characters being introduced. In this series right now, there are so many open-ended plots that I have no idea how they're going to wrap it all up, but I know they will. We've got everything going on with Ollie, his powers, him being at school, the new superhero that got introduced, Ayana, she's got all of her own stuff going on, Ollie's family, his friends at school, and even the doctor, his dad is now back in the scene. So much stuff is going on in this series. I love it. The artwork is phenomenal as well, but like I said, you absolutely need to read the first volume before you start embarking on this new journey. Let's talk about it more down below, and for those reasons, we've got coming in at number 4 this week, we've got AWA's Erratic Recharged, issue number 2. Next up this week at number 3, we've got Boom Studios' brand new series, The Approach, issue number 1. This is cover A. So I went into this one blindly. I didn't read the description for it. I honestly picked it up strictly because it was a brand new series from Boom Studios, and I really liked the front cover as well. It reminded me of the old movie The Thing, and I was really hoping the story was going to be about that, at least kind of along the lines of that. As I started reading it, I'm going to be real with you guys, I was very bored. I thought, all right, I didn't really know what I was getting into. It's kind of a slow story. We've got a firefighter. He works at an airport, and everything is shut down because of this major snowstorm. They're pretty much just trying to protect everybody, give them just food and blankets, and make sure they survive the night. I thought, all right, I guess this really isn't going to be all that good of a story. Things pick up a little bit from there, so some small spoilers are going to happen, but this airplane that's probably on the front just pops onto the radar, comes out of nowhere, and it turns out the plane disappeared way back in the day. And then all of a sudden, some other stuff happens as well, and we get left on an awesome cliffhanger. I'm excited, I'm hooked on it, and I'm ready for the next one. And for those reasons, we've got coming in at number 3 this week. This is Boom Studios' brand new one, The Approach, issue number 1. Next up this week at number 2, we've got Image's brand new one, Halloween Party, issue number 1. This is cover A. This was a very fun, just kind of self-contained one-shot story. It is going to be coming back as a different holiday though, but I definitely recommend this one. This one was such a fun read. The artwork was great, but the story, it really got developed over the course of this massive, oversized issue. So a little bit about it without too many spoilers. Our main character, his name is Scotch. He's a human. He kills monsters, but he gets invited to this Halloween party full of legit, real monsters. But they don't really get along, but at the same time, they said, you know, Scotch, you've saved Halloween before, can you save it again? So then we get some flashbacks of Scotch kind of saving Halloween, just stories of him killing monsters. The issue actually progresses into a real story, though, on top of that. Everyone goes to a monster island, and things happen from there. It was very fun. I definitely recommend it, especially if you're a Halloween, just kind of horror fan. It's a little bit more on the lighthearted side, though. It's not really too horror. But on that note, we've got coming in at number 2 this week. This is Image's new one, Halloween Party, issue number 1. And here we go, everyone. This is it, my top read of the week. We've got coming in at number 1 this week. This is Marvel's brand new one, and I know this is going to surprise a lot of you guys. We've got Star Wars Visions, issue number 1. This is cover A. I honestly don't even know where to begin with this issue. I loved every single thing about it. I've got zero complaints. The artwork was A+. It was breathtaking. It was top-notch. It flowed beautifully across the pages. The action panels were incredible. On top of that, though, the story, there wasn't much of a story in this first one. It's kind of all up in the air. It's a mystery. We've got our main character. He's a Ronin. He's traveling with his droid. He meets some bandits. He gets into some trouble. Tons of action happens from there. But then he meets somebody else. We do get a little bit of other action, but they sit down, they start telling some stories with each other. I truly loved this first issue. And I'm not a big Star Wars fan at all. If you Star Wars fans out there, you got a different opinion, there's some other stuff similar to this you really want me to read, let me know down below in the comments section. But absolutely taking the crown this week, we've got Marvel's brand new one, Star Wars Visions, issue number 1. And that's a wrap on this week's top 10 list of books, folks. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to comment down below what your top read of the week was and which ones you think I missed out on. And thank you for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. And if you want to miss out on any of my upcoming content, be sure to hit the subscribe button down below and the little bell to stay up to date on all of my releases. You won't regret it. I've got 2 more sitting off to the side here with more of my comic book content. Click on one of those and I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day.